Welcome to an overview of the Ontario Transfusion Transmitted Injuries Surveillance System as part of the National Hemovigilance System and specifically as Ontario TTISS. Some of the objectives today is to just talk about the Transfusion Transmitted Injuries Surveillance System as part of the Canadian Hemovigilance System, the process of reporting adverse transfusion events, and specifically how we report in Ontario and Ontario's goals moving ahead. So in response to the 1997 report of the Commission of Inquiry on the Blood System in Canada by Justice Creever, several initiatives were launched to improve the surveillance of the Canadian blood system. This involved the creation of the Canadian Blood Services in Canada, excluding Quebec, and Hemo-Quebec. And in 2001, the National Transfusion Transmitted Injuries Surveillance System. The Canadian Hemovigilance System consists of two arms: a mandatory reporting arm regulated by Health Canada Vigilance Program, and it regulates Canadian blood product suppliers, including these include Canadian Blood Services and Hemo-Quebec, and manufacturers of plasma derivatives or plasma protein products. And their purpose is to monitor adverse transfusion events that are related to the quality of the blood, related to the blood supply, to ensure the safety of the blood product. The other arm is run by the Public Health Agency of Canada, contracted by the Ministry of Health through the Blood Contribution Program. And it's the Transfusion Transmitted Injuries Surveillance System. Its purpose is to monitor all moderate and severe adverse transfusion events for the purpose of surveillance and risk, whether or not they're related to the blood product. So in this guide to reporting transfusion reactions, when a hospital transfusion medicine lab identifies the type of reaction, its imputability to the product, severity, and the blood product involved, it has to decide whether they need to report and the time frame of urgency to Health Canada, based on whether it was a blood component or plasma derivative. There are two different avenues of reporting. If the blood quality was affected, then it is reported to Canadian Blood Services, indirectly who report to Health Canada. And if it's something they did in the hospital themselves, like pooled the blood, then it has to be also directly reported to mandatory reporting directly to Health Canada. If it was a plasma protein product or plasma derivative that the reaction resulted from, and it was serious, it would have to be reported both to plasma derivative manufacturers and Health Canada as per the FDA and Vanessa's law. All reactions that are moderate to severe from all blood products need to be reported to your provincial TTISS office. And we encourage in Ontario the reporting of minor allergic reactions, febrile non-hemolytic reactions, and delayed serological reactions. And the provincial TTIS office reports to the national program. So why report to TTISS? The reason we need to report to TTISS is that it allows us to make risk assessments on all the types of moderate to severe adverse transfusion reactions as compared to the number of units of blood components transfused. For example, we'll get an idea that for every 1,000 units transfused, we have a certain reaction that we can expect. So it's to monitor the trends, to alert us to threats. Also collect adverse transfusion reactions, whether or not they're related to the blood quality. So non-serious tacos that are due to an overload, circulatory overload, are not mandatory reported to Canadian Blood Services. However, we need to also keep track of those, as well as hemolytic reactions due to an incompatible transfusion, giving the wrong blood to the wrong patient. Even if it causes death, it is not reportable to Health Canada. Here's a slide showing the TRALI incidence in Canada and seeing how we track the trends through surveillance. When in 2007, they introduced male plasma, they saw a serious, definite reduction in the number of TRALIs. We can compare the incidence to other countries' incidence and see higher risk or lower risk of a certain type of transfusion reaction, keeping those stats. And as you can see in Canada, we don't report the minor reaction incidence because it's not part of the surveillance reporting. So let's focus now on Ontario and talk about reporting through the transmitted injuries surveillance program. All 159 hospitals now report to Ontario TTISS. We have developed newsletters, we do annual reports, we have made resources through our education committee and have recently updated our symptom chart for investigating reactions that we did in conjunction with ORBCON, done a reporting guide that helps you navigate the reporting in Ontario for each type of transfusion reaction. And we have a similar reporting algorithm online that helps you. It's an interactive one that instead of reading through a guide. We have yearly meetings, interactive case workshops. We invite Canadian Blood Services, ORBCON representatives, Health Canada representatives, Ministry of Health representatives, transfusion physicians, and hospital transfusion medical lab personnel to be involved. In this, we do a workshop component, an interactive workshop of looking at cases, and we all do important presentations on transfusion reactions and information in the community. Also, like to get out messages to ORBCON for their interactive and their on-site meetings to get the word across and the importance of reporting. You can get information and resources on our website. So Ontario has created a sentinel site model as part of its structure due to the fact that the national program doesn't report incidents of minor reactions. We call this the sentinel site model because it includes 29 hospitals that report 35% of the transfusion activity in Ontario that report all their minor reactions. You can see here the transfusion reactions in 2020 showed that 82% of all reactions are minor. This is showing the reactions from the sentinel sites only. Looking at the minor reactions themselves, the febrile reactions take up most of the reactions that happen with minor allergic and delayed serological reactions. So TTIS has also developed its own online database. It's flexible for users and sites can download their own reports to their hospital. We've added more symptoms than the national form that gives more information on things like the IVIG brand names, specific pain areas or categories. You can extract the data in an Excel form for your own internal reports. And you can also print this, once you've entered it in the database, a form that looks like the TTIS form that's acceptable by Canadian Blood Services and Health Canada as an initial reporting form. If it's found it's related to the blood quality. Also, it's important to note that the urgency and the timing to enter this and send it off to the regulatory agencies is important within 24 hours and following those regulations. So this is the TTIS REDCap database where you can extract your database, and we will be showing further videos on how to do that. Also show you the part where you can print off your Canadian Transfusion Adverse Event Reporting Form in the form of a PDF to send it, email it, fax it to Canadian Blood Services or Health Canada and the plasma protein product manufacturers. This is what, when you enter into the database, you do not put the identifying information. It only gives you a case ID number. So when you open the electronic form, you can add the last name, first name, health number, hospital number, if required, and it will print it off for you for emailing or faxing, but it won't be saved in the database. This is what it looks like when you print it out. So how do we report in Ontario? Specifically, you can go to the Ontario TTIS and complete the online form. You can decide, and that's it for Ontario TTIS reporting, every reaction you have. You can then decide if you need to print it off to send to the plasma protein manufacturers or Health Canada, if it was a reaction due to plasma protein products, or if it was a reaction due to blood components, you would decide to send it off to Canadian Blood Services, or if it's something you did in the lab and you thought you did something like pool blood and contaminated, you need to also directly report to Health Canada, Canada Vigilance Program. We have reporting algorithms available both on Canadian Blood Services website on the left and also from TTISS website on the right. We have made a simple online reporting algorithm in Ontario where you can go to this site, online reporting algorithm you'll see on our website, and you can just click on a couple of simple questions, and the first one being what blood product was the transfusion associated with. You pick this, say you said blood components, and then you asked, was it a minor or a major? Is one of these, and it will continue for after about 4 answered questions, it will let you know who to report the blood transfusion reaction to. So Ontario is hoping that they will be the model for true surveillance. In future, we are hoping for real-time surveillance. If sites put their reactions in as though they occur, we'll be able to actually monitor live surveillance. We hope to have alerts to agencies. We hope to, for hospitals, as they see this as a one-stop shopping, once they put it into TTISS, it's easy to report to other sites, and for agencies that has more granular supporting. We hope that we will be soon in 2020, 2022, doing automated reports. So as the sites are entering reactions, we're showing the months before, and you can extract your own reports for reporting and seeing live surveillance. So additional resources, and thank you. The next presentations will be specifically on how to enter your reactions and how to answer queries that we will be asking to complete if we see incomplete data, and working on making the database the best quality it can be.